Oftentimes when I'm watching anime, I'm watching it for two things: visual attractiveness and entertainment, and if they don't have either of those things, I'm out. I've been pickier about the anime I watch these days because life's been kinda busy lately, so I try to be as strict as possible with this rule by watching the trailers first.
That guy got hit in the head with a coconut!
But occasionally, a new anime sneaks under my radar, comes out the woodworks, and either blows everybody and their mama out the water, or brainwashes everybody into thinking it's gonna be absolute cinema. And that makes us take that rule, crack it over our knees, and act like we didn't even make it in the first place. Last time we broke it for gushing over magical girls, the time before that was for Kamikatsu working for God in a godless world, and I only regret watching one of those. Can you guys guess which one? Now there's another anime that we're breaking the rules for, but it's not because of the handjobs or the hentai bordering scenes. We're watching for the fucking memes.
What the fuck?
My Dear Friend Nokotan, or better known in Japanese as, is about the student council president Torako Koshi, who we'll refer to as Koshitan. She's the model student with good grades, excellent social skills, and great manners. She's basically the perfect girl, except there's a little secret she has that nobody really knows about. She's actually not who everybody thinks she is. On the outside, she might seem to give off this prim and proper energy, but on the inside, she harbors this deep, dark secret within her, making sure nobody, and I mean nobody, not even me and you, finds out she used to be a delinquent. Oh fuck, I just said it. She had a phase in middle school where she was obsessed with a certain series that rhymes with Bokyo Revengers, and idolized the Bokyo Manji gang leader who we'll call Baiki. She was gonna take that shit with her to the grave too if it wasn't for this deer girl that she found stuck on a fucking power line. What is even happening here? Koshitan didn't want to get involved with the deer girl, but she got guilt tripped into it anyway and somehow helped her down. And then they ended up going their separate ways. Later in class, Koshitan thought her day couldn't get any more bizarre, and that's when her teacher announces there's a new transfer student coming in. And we've all seen enough anime to know who it is. We've seen transfer students enter the classroom like a million times before, but out of those million times, this one is by far the most memorable. At this point, there's only one thought in my mind: what the fuck is going on? And I don't think that thought is going away anytime soon.
I won't be the first to say it, and I certainly won't be the last, but this anime story is practically non-existent. It's also kinda confusing. I watched the latest episodes, checked the r/anime page, and even talked to my friends about it, but every single week, I come out having more questions than I came in with. Like, what the fuck is happening here? But for a brain rot shitposty meme anime, I think that's okay. At least for me and a lot of other people, because in an anime like this, you're not really watching for the story. You're just watching so you don't miss out on the new meme format that's dropping every week. And trust me, there's a new one every week. Don't get it twisted though. Just because there's memes involved doesn't make the jokes automatically good. There's also a lot of very tropey slapstick humor that feels kinda outdated and misplaced in an anime that also has memes from just a few years ago. And I don't know why they thought it'd be good to mix the two, but maybe it's because Japanese people still find bullying the weird person hilarious, or one of the writers was 90 years old. These jokes can get very repetitive and in turn makes the anime seem like a one-trick pony where they just milk the same joke over and over until it turns into dust. Sometimes the jokes even feel forced or they try to get you on the shock factor, except there's not much shock. So it feels like a bad comedian trying to tell jokes on stage while nobody's laughing.
I feel like racism and smoke are a lot alike, you know? Like in the 50s, everybody did it. Now we know it's bad. We're trying to cut back, but some people just can't quit.
It's a terrible experience for both parties, but I think it's more forgivable if you look at it as a more abstract artist anime rather than a traditional one. They even invented a new subgenre of cute girls do cute things called cute girls do deer things. Don't get me wrong though, some of the jokes are still really bad, but I and a lot of other people ended up watching the show despite its glaring issues because of one thing: the impeccable marketing.
Now, we originally never had any intentions of watching this anime, let alone making a whole ass video on it. But if there was anything about the anime that was done right, it was the advertising. And you know how I know it was good? It's the fact that you clicked on this video. The show already had a cult following months before the actual release of the first episode, with some calling it peak and one of the greatest pieces of fiction of the modern era. You even have people chain spamming the title in the comments. Now, the marketing consisted of PVs and trailers months before the actual airing date, the YouTube non-credit version of the opening dropping on the first episode, and a commercial for the anime. All of these things are fairly normal, so what exactly made it stand out among other anime? The answer is actually really simple: they just executed better. The PVs and trailers were really well done. They created a super catchy and simple phrase that you can't escape from anymore, made a funny commercial that was a parody of other companies' boring commercials, and embraced the internet and meme culture. I think that last one was the biggest reason this anime has become so viral, because the vast majority of the marketing was being done for them. And you can see how successful it was through the numbers, as the PVs have millions of views on YouTube. But specifically, the non-credit version of the opening boosted its popularity to a new height, as it reached 10 million views within 5 days and over 20 million views in about a month. These things birthed the memes you see everywhere now, and that's exactly what carried the marketing.
Shikanoko, nokonoko, koshitantan.
I'm sure you guys all know this without me even saying it, but I'll say it anyways. This anime isn't serious at all. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, look at the deer. They didn't even try to draw to blend the CGI deer in with the backgrounds. The amount of times I think it can't get any more weird or random, there's always another scene that proves me wrong. And I like that. It gives the anime this surprise factor because you never know how far they're gonna take it or what direction they're headed in, and I appreciate that level of creativity. There's also a plethora of references that I thought added a whole new dimension of enjoyment to the anime. It's like playing a minigame of find the reference when you're watching each episode, but some of them might fly right over your head if you blink too often or don't know where it's from. But if you do know, you'll start pointing at the screen in disbelief that they actually made a JoJo reference again for the 5,000th time. The more impressive part is that it references more than just other anime and manga. It also pulls things from video games like Dark Souls and even western memes like Bully Maguire's dance from fucking Spider-Man 3. Like, who else is doing shit like this? And the greatest part is that even the producers were in on this shit posting brain rot meme anime. They even had the official YouTube channel promoted by repeating the catchiest part of the opening and turning it into an hour-long shitpost. I love this level of commitment from the studio because it goes to show that there are people out there willing to broaden their horizons and adapt to the online culture. And I like to think they came up with these shitposts by having some TikTok addicted Zoomer intern suggest that they make an hour-long video of the opening on repeat and call it a day. They doubled, even tripled down on things like this in hopes that it would be popular off being an amalgamation of references from different subcultures. And damn were they right on the money. I've been seeing posts and new memes pop up online every single time an episode drops, and the fact that the memes have kept the anime in conversations means it's working. There's two other things that were significant to this show's explosive popularity: the opening and the clips.
I'm not sure if the marketing team and the songwriters joined forces to make the fucking Avengers of catchy openings, but it sure as hell seems like it because it is all over the internet now. Whoever made the song or wrote the lyrics and the beat are absolute geniuses, because they took a repeatable phrase and just spammed it over and over and over again, where it's just stuck in everyone's heads, and it's to the point where it's kind of annoying now. You can't escape from it either because it's everywhere. Even in my sleep I can still hear it play. But the biggest thing that's keeping me from dropping this anime faster than my father dropped my family, however, is the memes that keep being made. And they come from the clips that are just being absolutely farmed by the anime community like some kind of cash crop. I mean, the clips and potential green screen edits are endless, and I like what I've been seeing so far. It's almost like this anime was made for the community to farm clips and green screens instead of having a good balance of that plus some actually funny jokes and hand-drawn deer. If it did have all those things, it would have been the next Nichijou. But unfortunately, most of the jokes are just weird and unfunny, and the deer are CGI. Crazy how an anime with a deer theme got outdone by an anime about a girl's normal everyday life. A lot of people compare this anime to Nichijou, and I think that's a fairly popular comparison. The humor in both is very nonsensical, a lot of random things happen, and they're slice of lives. But another anime comparison that I think could be made here is The Disastrous Life of Saiki K. Wacky things happen in both. There's a lot of references to other anime, manga, and pop culture, but the biggest thing is the amount of puns they both use. There are a huge amount of puns in both, and the more Japanese you can understand, the funnier the anime. This is kind of a double-edged sword because for the most part, only the Japanese speaking audience finds it funny, which kind of isolates the audience that can't. But it does make it a lot more popular with the audience that can understand. In the case of Saiki K, I think it worked out fine because everyone spoke in 2x speed, and the main target audience was primarily Japanese people. But in My Dear Friend Nokotan, the main target audience is anybody that knows how to make memes. So this kind of hurts the popularity because all the puns and jokes are flying over all the non-Japanese speaking heads.
For what it's worth though, I still think it's decently entertaining. It's just a turn off your brain and watch type of anime, and it's a good change of pace if you've been watching nothing but thought-provoking story-heavy shows.
I am head over paws in love with pussy.
It has its moments of ups and downs. One episode, it can be complete shit. and the next, it can be kinda decent. It can be trash and art at the same time. I saw one person in the YouTube comments type something along the lines of, humans have known how to make art for 40,000 years, and it took 40,000 years for us to reach artistic perfection. And I think that perfectly sums up how I feel about the good parts of the show. The bad parts of the show,
Kill yourself!